Hey everyone, I'm Diana. I'm a 3-time startup PM and I've now co-founded my own startup, and I follow a lot of B2B SaaS companies so that you don't have to.
Hey everyone, today I wanted to cover a couple different GPT-3 tools that have been coming across my feed. Now I've been getting way too many of these. The space is absolutely too noisy, so I did want to kind of group all the different tools that I've been seeing into a couple different categories. So two main categories that I've noticed is one, general purpose. And what general purpose means is that it kind of just takes GPT-3 and lets you do anything with it. GPT-3 in and of itself is a foundation model that can accomplish multiple tasks. So it is in a lot of ways a general purpose machine learning model. This is kind of different from machine learning models that can only accomplish one task, like something like classification. So GPT-3 can do a lot of different things, including classification, summarization, generating new content. So it's definitely a general purpose model. Now, the second category of tools that I've seen using GPT-3 are more focused use cases. So they'll apply GPT-3 specifically to either one task or one industry. And I kind of like the focused use case tooling more, because I've noticed that sometimes with GPT-3 general purpose tooling, it looks a lot like the playground, and really all it does is just create a UI on top of the playground or on top of the API, which I find less interesting. So I definitely find the focused use case tooling a little bit more interesting, because I think it shows that whoever is building this tool has kind of configured GPT-3 either with a prompt or through fine-tuning to be a better fit for a specific use case. Whereas I've noticed sometimes with some of these general purpose toolings, it is just a UI on top of the GPT-3 API. Now, some of the interesting ways in which you can make a general purpose GPT-3 tool interesting is maybe not in fine-tuning or changing the model, but in actually changing how you're delivering GPT-3. So 3 classes that we'll kind of walk through today are embedded tooling, chat apps, and then web apps. So let's get started first with just a general purpose GPT-3 tool. That would be something like TypeDroid, which I found through Product Hunt. When I look at TypeDroid, it looks very similar to Jasper, Copy.ai, but with less features. And what I do like about it is that it looks like you can actually generate something without actually creating an account. So that is nice. So let's go ahead and try it since it's available and I don't have to create an account. And one thing to note about GPT-3 is that it does take some time, just because it's actually doing a lot of work in the background. But yeah, this actually looks pretty good, and then you can copy it. So I think overall this is just like a fun tool that you can try out, but it's definitely more of a general purpose like GPT-3 content thing. Alrighty, so we kind of talked about some general purpose GPT-3 solutions. Now let's talk about the different ways in which you might actually deliver it differently. So TypeDroid is largely a web app. But there were a couple cool delivery mechanisms for GPT-3 that I wanted to share. For example, with ChatGPT Writer, this actually is embedded in your Gmail. So as you're writing an email, you can go ahead and have this ChatGPT write an email for you directly in your inbox. So I think that way of delivering GPT-3 is a step above having you input a prompt within a web app. The other one that I thought was pretty interesting is embedding GPT into apps on your phone. So even though this is still a general purpose ChatGPT implementation, you're able to actually interact with it a little bit differently. So that was pretty cool too. And then finally, this was also an interesting way of embedding ChatGPT into the places that you typically work on a day-to-day. So as you're Googling, it'll have this sidebar that basically gives you the results from ChatGPT as well. So that was really cool too. So I think these tools that kind of embed the GPT-3 functionality within the tools that you're working in are particularly interesting. And then finally, on that last category of focused use case, GPT-3 implementations, Embolden seemed kind of interesting, and what they do is they leverage AI to help you write e-commerce content. So this is particularly interesting because when you think about it, the world of prompts that you can write is so huge. And instead here, they've already kind of told you, I know that in e-commerce, these are the 4 types of prompts that you would want. And so you don't have to worry about prompt engineering. You can just go ahead and follow these templates and create the information that you want. So I do think this is kind of a way to make GPT-3 more focused on specific use case, and really provide value beyond just letting you generate, whatever content you want. So I really like companies or approaches that kind of take this approach a little bit more. This is a little bit similar to something like AI Query that helps you write SQL. And I covered AirOps, I think last week or the week before, which also does something similar. And again, this is another like use case focused application of GPT-3. So yeah, like things are going crazy right now. I definitely wouldn't use every single tool that you stumble upon, especially if it's kind of just another more general purpose GPT-3 tool. But I think if you find a tool that leverages GPT-3 in their product, and this product is something that you use every day, that's a really interesting application for GPT-3. And I would definitely start there versus trying every single content generator under the sun, because there are like a lot of them now at this point. So that's it for me today. I might do another video of the next 10 GPT-3 tools that come across my feed, but we'll see if I have energy to keep following this particular trend.
So I know it's hard to stay up to date with all the new SaaS products that are coming out literally every day. So I have a playlist that goes through all of the SaaS products that come through my feed that I think are interesting to kind of take a look at. So if you're interested in that, or you think that would be helpful, go ahead and either click the subscribe button or check out that playlist.